Hey there, buddy. What's your name?
I'm Jordan.
It's nice to meet you, Jordan. This is my son, Alex. Dear friends, subscribe to my channel, Viral Story Hub. It's stories like this.
Dad, he has the same brand as us. What happened next shook the billionaire. A billionaire's perfect life shatters when his 3-year-old son points at a homeless boy and says 5 words that change everything. He has the same brand as us. 5 identical dots. 1 impossible truth. What he discovers will reveal a decade-old crime that tore his family apart. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments what time is it and where are you watching from. Let's start. Alexander Crane wasn't always a billionaire. 10 years ago, he was just a guy working at a warehouse, married to Amanda, a beautiful black woman he'd met at a coffee shop. When she got pregnant, they were scared but excited. They lived in a small apartment with peeling wallpaper and a heater that barely worked. But they didn't care. They spent weekends painting the nursery and arguing over baby names. Money was tight, so they chose St. Catherine's Hospital because it was all they could afford. At 36 weeks, Amanda went into labor. Alexander held her hand through every contraction, trying not to show how terrified he was. Their baby was born at 11:43 p.m. with Amanda's beautiful brown skin. For exactly 4 minutes, they heard him cry. Then Dr. Patricia Weston came back into the room, and her face was all wrong. She looked at them with sad eyes. "I'm so sorry." His heart stopped. "We did everything we could." Amanda's scream shattered something in Alexander's chest. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. He grabbed the doctor's arm. "No, we just heard him crying. He was fine." Dr. Weston shook her head slowly. "Sometimes it happens very suddenly. I'm deeply sorry." Alexander's voice cracked. "Can we see him?" She nodded and left the room. A nurse brought in a tiny body wrapped in a blue blanket with white stars. They held him for hours. Amanda wouldn't let go. She kissed his forehead over and over, whispering to the tiny body, "I'm sorry, baby. Mommy's so sorry." 3 days later, they buried him. Amanda stopped eating, stopped sleeping. She'd stand in their empty nursery for hours just staring at nothing. Alexander was terrified he'd lose her too. One night, she finally spoke. Her voice was hollow. "We can't do this again, not until we can afford the best doctors, the best everything. I can't survive losing another child." He held her tight. "I promise." That promise changed Alexander's life. He started working 80-hour weeks, took massive risks, built a small delivery company into something bigger, then bigger. He was obsessed, driven by pure terror of losing another baby. 7 years later, Alexander Crane was worth $1.2 billion. Amanda finally felt safe enough to try again. Lucas was born at the most expensive hospital in the country, with the top doctors money could buy. He came out healthy and screaming with his father's light skin, and most importantly, he had the mark. 5 dots on his right forearm arranged in a pattern. 1 in the center, 4 around it forming a square, exactly like the 5 on dice, the Crane family birthmark. Alexander's grandfather had it, his father had it, he had it, now Lucas had it. When he saw those 5 dots on his newborn son's arm, he finally felt like everything was right again. For 3 years, life was perfect. Then one Tuesday afternoon, everything exploded. Alexander was walking downtown with Lucas when his son suddenly stopped and stared across the street. Against a crumbling brick wall sat a boy, maybe 10 years old, with dark brown skin and curly hair. He wore a dirty gray t-shirt and torn jeans, no shoes, fresh bruises on his face. Before Alexander could stop him, Lucas walked straight over. Lucas smiled at the boy. "Hi, I'm Lucas." The boy looked up, startled and defensive. "What do you want?" Lucas pointed at the boy's arm. "Dad, he has the same brand as us." Alexander's heart stopped. On the boy's right forearm were 5 dots, 1 in the center, 4 around it, arranged exactly like the 5 on dice. The Crane family birthmark. His hand started shaking. He rolled up his sleeve, showing his own mark, then Lucas's. "Where did you get that?" The boy pulled his arm back. "I was born with it." "Why? What's your name?" "Ethan. Can I go now?" His voice was shaking now. "When's your birthday?" The boy rolled his eyes. "March 14th. Why do you care?" "March 14th? The day their baby died." He felt his chest tighten. "What year?" Ethan shrugged. 2015. "Are you done?" Alexander dropped to his knees on the concrete. 2015? 10 years ago? What hospital were you born in? The boy looked annoyed. "St. Catherine's. I was abandoned there as a newborn. Foster system took me. Aged out 6 months ago." He stood up. "I'm fine on my own." St. Catherine's. The same hospital where their son died. Born the same day. Same birthmark that was genetically impossible for a stranger to have. Alexander's voice came out as a whisper. "What time were you born?" Ethan crossed his arms. 11:47 p.m. "Why does any of this matter?" "Their son was born at 11:43 p.m., 4 minutes apart." Lucas grabbed Ethan's hand. "You should come with us." The older boy tried to pull away, but something in Lucas's innocent face made him hesitate. Alexander made a decision. "Please, just come have lunch with us. I need to understand how you have my family's birthmark. 1 meal. Then you can leave if you want." Ethan studied him for a long moment, then shrugged. 1 meal. That's it. At the restaurant, Alexander made frantic calls while Ethan ate like he hadn't seen food in days. He talked fast into his phone. "David, I need every record from St. Catherine's Hospital, March 14th, 2015. He called his family doctor next. "Dr. Morrison, is it possible for someone outside our family to have our birthmark?" The answer was immediate. "Absolutely not. It's a documented genetic marker unique to your bloodline." "Why?" Alexander turned to Ethan. "Tell me everything about your birth." The boy wiped his mouth. "My birth certificate says both parents unknown. I was born at 11:47 p.m., weighed 6 pounds 3 ounces, gestational age 36 weeks, found wrapped in a blue blanket with white stars." He felt like the ground was tilting beneath him. Their son was born at 11:43 p.m. Amanda delivered at 36 weeks. The baby they'd held was wrapped in a blue blanket with white stars. He called Amanda. "Come to Marcello's restaurant right now. Don't ask questions, just come." 20 minutes later, she walked in. When she saw Ethan sitting there, confusion flooded her face. Amanda looked between them. "Alexander, what's going on?" He looked at his wife. "What time did you give birth 10 years ago?" Her face went pale. 11:43 p.m. "Why are you asking me this?" He gestured to Ethan. "This is Ethan, born at St. Catherine's at 11:47 p.m. on March 14th, 2015. Show her your arm." The boy rolled up his sleeve. Amanda gasped. Her hand flew to her mouth. "That's the Crane birthmark. But that's impossible. How?" Alexander's voice was steady, but his hands were shaking. "It's genetic. Only passes from me to my biological children. There's no other way he could have it." Her legs buckled. She grabbed the table for support. "No, our baby died. We held his body. We buried him." What if that wasn't our baby? What if Dr. Weston lied? His phone rang. He answered immediately. David's voice came through urgent. Alex, something's very wrong with these records. Your son's death is listed at 11:51 p.m. But there's another record, an abandoned infant found in the maternity ward at 11:50 p.m. Same weight, same gestational age, wrapped in a blue blanket with white stars. Who was the doctor? David paused. Dr. Patricia Weston. And Alex, she was investigated in 2018 for baby trafficking. She'd tell poor mothers their babies died, then sell healthy infants to wealthy couples desperate to adopt. At least 7 confirmed cases before she disappeared. Amanda's sobs filled the room. She took our baby. She told us he died, and she took him. Alexander looked at Ethan, finally understanding everything. Dr. Weston hadn't sold him like her other victims. She just made him disappear into foster care, listed as abandoned. She'd shown them another dead infant's body. Let them grieve. Let them bury a child that wasn't theirs. Meanwhile, their real son grew up alone for 10 years. He stood up. I need a DNA test now. 3 hours later, the results came back. 99.9% paternal match. Ethan was his biological son. Amanda crossed the room to him. Tears streamed down her face. She knelt in front of the boy. I'm your mother. I carried you for 36 weeks. They stole you from me before I could hold you. If I'd known you were alive, I would have torn the world apart to find you. Ethan's defensive wall started cracking. I don't know how to trust people. Her voice was soft. We don't know how to be your parents after missing 10 years, but we want to try. Lucas grabbed his brother's hand. You have to stay with us. Ethan looked at this impossible family, at the mother who'd never held him, the father who'd mourned him, the brother who'd seen 5 dots and changed everything. His voice was barely a whisper. Okay. 6 weeks of legal battles followed, DNA evidence, police reports, investigations into Dr. Weston's crimes. Every single day, Ethan expected them to change their minds, to realize he was too damaged, too difficult, too much. They never did. Amanda brought him breakfast every morning. Alexander fought lawyers and judges to bring him home. Lucas loved him without hesitation or doubt. Finally, the judge's gavel came down. Ethan Crane is legally restored to his biological family. That night, they brought him to their house. Amanda had prepared a room just for him. Lucas gave him a full tour, pointing out every single toy they could share. Alexander watched his 2 sons together, the child he'd raised and the child stolen from him, and felt whole for the first time in 10 years. The trauma didn't disappear overnight. Ethan had nightmares. He hoarded food in his closet. He flinched when voices were raised, but his family showed up every single day, proving this time was different. 3 months later, on March 14th, they celebrated both boys' birthdays together. Ethan turned 11. Lucas turned 3. Amanda made 2 cakes. As they sang happy birthday, the older boy looked at his mother, who'd never stopped grieving, his father, who'd built an empire while mourning, his brother, who'd noticed 5 dots and changed everything. Lucas leaned over. What did you wish for? Ethan smiled, a real smile that came easier now. He looked at his family. Nothing. I already have everything I need. Because sometimes evil steals what doesn't belong to it. Sometimes a 3-year-old sees what adults miss. Sometimes DNA doesn't lie when people do. And sometimes 5 dots on your skin can lead you home to the family who never stopped loving you, even when they thought you were dead. What would you do if you discovered your child had been stolen? Sometimes the answers we're searching for are written on our skin. If this story